Hi, my name is Wray. I'm a teacher at Arundel High School. I teach psychology. And I'm going to tell you about this game I made. It's like a little microcosm of society. Some people say psychology, they teach psychology in high school? Yes, they do. It's actually a lot of kids' favorite class, It's all about them. These are somewhat narcissistic millennials. So, I do some really cool things in the classroom, and I get to have fun all day. I classically condition kids to drool with lemonade powder. I get them to stand in the hallway and stare up at the ceiling, see how many other people stare at the ceiling. And I also talk about some thought experiments, specifically a thought experiment from game theory, which says that we can model the world after games. Here's the prisoner's dilemma. Let's imagine that you and a friend were both arrested for a crime, and the police have you and they give you this deal. If both of you confess, you get a little bit of jail sentence. But if one of you confesses and the other doesn't, like here, the one that confessed goes free, the one that remains silent in jail. But if both of you remain silent, you both get a little bit of jail time. So it's about cooperation and competition. I thought I'd turn it into this game in the classroom. With these Sentio controllers I can give every kid, if they press A and cooperate, everyone in the room gets a piece of candy. If they press B and compete, the first 3 people to do that get 2 pieces of candy. Dun, 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 candy. Everybody wants candy. So how do you think this will go? Well, when I hit start, it goes, and the names are public on the board. We see who competed and who cooperated. We also see a pie chart like this. And I played this game 112 times, a lot, and I've recorded every one of them. I'm going to give you the data. 66% roughly is what we get for cooperation, and competition at 33%. Sometimes, only 8 times out of all those times did everyone cooperate. Sometimes I make it so there's no incentive to compete. And still, so 22% are cooperating. They say, get all the candy, eat all the candy. If I don't, someone else will. So nobody says, I'm a bad person. Instead, they're like, other people are the bad people. I have to press B or else someone else will. Well, there's a lot of group influence on the individual in this game, and sometimes there's messages that get sent out. People say, press A, everyone, A, they're chanting A, and Mr. Wray will give us all the candy if we press A. And it's true, I would. That only increases it up to about 83%. But other times, someone says, I don't care, you guys. I'm going to press B. I'm just letting you know. And that gets up to like 47%. It's terrible. There's a culture of competition there. So sometimes I even make it ridiculous, and I make it 10 treats if they press B. It's a bull market. So what ends up happening is a lot of people in the room get really pissed off that so rarely is cooperation happening, and some people just want candy. And there starts to be these like Occupy type movements. And they get so angry, and they say, Mr. Wray, can we vote? And I say, yes, you can. And they vote. And they vote to do a lot of things, and they're a super majority. So they vote to take away people's controllers. They vote to redistribute the candy. And there's fierce opposition. But when they have a supermajority, it's not hard to do, except for when the kid with all the candy on his desk starts passing out candy to the people around him saying, vote to not do this, to not take away the controllers. That buys him like a round or two, but eventually regulations take hold, and the class gets the biggest, toughest boy in the room. And is like, you're the sheriff, you go take away those kids' controllers. And he walks over, it's similar to this, and he takes it away. But even when that happens, we got 12% that are still competing when they know that their controller will be taken away. Why are we doing this? There's this sort of greed, materialistic trend that's going on. Here's a chart from 1970 to the present. People who say, freshmen in college, who say they want to be very well off financially, have risen up to from 40 to 70%. Oh my gosh. Is it the 99% against the 1%? Not really. Maybe in terms of wealth, but in terms of economic behavior, it's more like the 33% that is screwing it for all of us. They're just competing every time, mindlessly. So we need to convince these people. We need to convince these people that it's no better than this, than standing at a slot machine just throwing your money away. The odds are almost the same. So this is a lesson that I like to teach my kids, that self-interest can be group interest through cooperation. And I think that's a good lesson that they need to learn before they get out there and play the real game. Thanks.